We've all heard the advice. Save $1,000 as your emergency fund. It's been repeated so many times it's become almost untouchable. It sounds practical, it sounds achievable, and for some people it might even be enough for a short while. But let's be honest about where we are today. It's 2025, and if you've ever had an emergency, you probably already know what I'm about to say. $1,000 doesn't stretch like it used to. And if you've been told that saving $1,000 means you're financially secure, you've been sold a dream, not because the advice was wrong at the time, but because the world has changed, and your money needs to change with it. Let's break this down. Start with something simple, a car repair. You're driving to work, everything's fine, and suddenly the engine light comes on. You take it in, and the mechanic says it's going to cost $1,400 to fix. Not because they're overcharging, but because modern parts are expensive and labor isn't cheap anymore. That's not some dramatic, once-in-a-lifetime emergency. That's just owning a car in today's economy. If your emergency fund stops at $1,000, you're automatically $400 short. That means you're stuck. Do you skip the repair and risk the car breaking down completely? Do you slap it on a credit card and start that ugly spiral of interest and debt? This is how people who thought they were being responsible end up in worse situations. Not from bad choices, but from outdated advice. And this is where the myth becomes dangerous. $1,000 might help, but it doesn't cover what most real emergencies cost. It gives people a false sense of safety, like wearing flip-flops in a thunderstorm and thinking you'll be fine. You feel prepared until life hits you with the full cost. Maybe your emergency isn't your car. Maybe it's your body. You twist your ankle badly. You head to urgent care. Between the x-ray, the brace, the doctor's fee, and any meds they prescribe, you're looking at $1,000 minimum, even if you have decent insurance. And if your deductible hasn't been met yet, that entire cost is on you. Your emergency fund is wiped out in one visit. And if you need follow-ups, physical therapy, or medication, you're going into the red. Rent is another issue. In most major cities, rent alone is above $1,000 a month. One missed paycheck, and you're behind. 2, and you're at risk of losing your home. What happens when your job cuts hours or you get laid off unexpectedly? That emergency fund won't even cover your rent, let alone food, utilities, or transportation. In many cases, $1,000 won't even get you through the week. Even outside of emergencies, life happens fast. The refrigerator breaks, your phone dies, a close friend suddenly needs your support, and you have to travel. Life isn't going to wait for you to hit your savings goals. And that's what makes the idea of a minimalist emergency fund dangerous. It doesn't prepare you for life as it actually is. The emotional hit is something no one prepares you for. You save what they told you to save. You set money aside. You feel like you've finally got a handle on your finances. But the moment a real-life situation hits, you realize it's not enough. And that can feel like failure. But it's not your failure. It's just a broken system that never adjusted for reality. Saving that first $1,000 is still worth it. It's better than having nothing. It buys you a little time. It lets you avoid panic. But it's not the finish line. It's the introduction. The emergency fund is a long-term tool, not a weekend fix. Think of it in levels. Level 1 is $1,000. That's your breathing room. Level 2? That's 1 full month of essential expenses. Your rent, your utilities, your groceries, your minimum bills. Level 3? 3 months. That's the kind of buffer that lets you breathe during layoffs, unexpected medical issues, or family emergencies. If your monthly needs come to $2,000, a 3-month emergency fund is $6,000. That sounds intimidating until you break it down. $250 a month will get you there in 2 years. Add in any tax refund, holiday bonus, or side gig money, and you'll get there even faster. There's a reason $1,000 is pushed so often. It feels doable, and that's good. If you're starting from zero, saving your first $1,000 is a huge mental win. It proves you can do it. But don't let it trick you into thinking you're safe. That's the real danger. Confusing a checkpoint for the finish line. The size of your emergency fund should reflect your actual life, where you live, how many people depend on you, your job security, your health. If $1,000 won't even cover your rent, then you already know it's not enough. A one-size-fits-all number just doesn't make sense anymore. Inflation makes this even more important. Prices have gone up across the board. Gas, rent, food, healthcare, it all costs more. You're not imagining it. The world got more expensive. If your emergency fund stayed the same while your costs went up, you're technically more vulnerable than you were 5 years ago. And here's the thing about modern emergencies. They're often layered. You lose income and your bills don't stop. Your pet needs an emergency vet visit, A storm damages your roof. It's never just one thing. And when emergencies stack, a small emergency fund gets crushed fast. Instead of repeating numbers that don't reflect your reality, ask the better question. What does it actually take for me to stay afloat for 1 month? That's your real goal. Add up your rent, your food, your basic bills. That's the number you should aim for. First for 1 month, then for 2, then for 3. And don't get discouraged by that number. You don't have to save it all in one shot. You chip away at it. You get creative. You cut where you can. Maybe you pause that streaming subscription for a few months. Perhaps you swap eating out for home-cooked meals a couple of times each week. Hold back on impulse buys. Every small change stacks. You make your savings automatic, treating your fund like a non-negotiable bill. And slowly, bit by bit, it builds into something substantial. Once you cross that $1,000 line and keep going, your whole mindset starts to shift. You stop fearing little things. You stop panicking over surprise costs. You stop using credit cards as a safety net. Instead, you start choosing peace, choosing options, choosing stability. It's like switching from survival mode to living proactively. You're no longer reacting to emergencies, you're anticipating them. You're ready for whatever curveballs life throws, not because you're hoping for them, but because you know they're inevitable. Your emergency fund isn't just about finances, it's about reclaiming your emotional freedom. Knowing you're ready no matter what life throws your way. It's a buffer against anxiety. It's protection against uncertainty. It's giving yourself permission to sleep soundly at night, knowing that a financial hiccup won't spiral into a full-blown crisis. When your emergency fund grows beyond the basics, you start noticing other benefits too. Opportunities you previously missed out on, like a better job, a relocation, or even investing in yourself through education, become accessible. When you're financially secure, you make decisions from a place of strength rather than desperation. That promotion or new opportunity across the country doesn't feel impossible anymore. Your dreams get closer because emergencies don't set you back. They simply slow you down momentarily. And let's be clear, none of this is about having an enormous bank account or becoming wealthy overnight. It's simply about recognizing that the real world demands flexibility. It demands that we update our strategies as circumstances change. Your emergency fund should evolve with your life and adapt to the economy you live in. Just because something worked 10 years ago doesn't mean it holds today. Progress in life is not static, and neither should your approach to financial security be. So take today as your wake-up call, not as a critique, but as a reminder. A reminder that you deserve more than temporary security. You deserve long-term confidence. You deserve freedom from financial stress and the ability to navigate life's inevitable twists without going under. Your emergency fund is your ticket to that reality.